Guess what I was for Halloween? Huh? 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 No? Happy Halloween to everybody. Not that big of a holiday here, but the kids do love trick-or-treating. But one thing about that, kids in Japan aren't allowed to eat in class, ever. So one of the biggest no-nos is handing out candy on Halloween. Don't do it. I received many warnings about that from various sources. But this, my costume, is pretty much what you throw together when you don't have any money. Got a red marker, colored on one of my shirts, cut off the sleeves, show off these guns, know what I mean? The red hat, sunglasses, I already had it. Most expensive part were the shorts, $9, so $10 costume. Oh, and the whistle. Yeah, because no money. And that's an interesting situation. Because in Japan, at least for the company that I work for, we get paid at the end of the following month. So, I started in September. Okay, normally, where I'm from, we get paid at the end of the month. So you work all of September, you get paid like September 31st, October 1st, something like that. But here, we get paid at the end of the following month. So you work all of September, and you work all of October, and on October 31st, that's when you receive your paycheck for September. Now this is a little bit tricky because when you first start out, you have 2 months with no pay. So they tell you in advance, bring 2 months pay with you. So that way, you can stay alive before you get your first paycheck. Which is perfectly normal. I mean, that makes sense. And that's good that they told us that, obviously. But the issue is your first 2 months are by far more expensive than any other months throughout your career. Because you're moving into a new country, you have to furnish this awesome apartment. Have to buy bedding, towels, dishes, silverware, groceries. You got to get yourself situated. So the first 2 months probably, you'd spend more than you normally would. You should really bring more than 2 months worth of pay, if you can. They do offer loans, but I figured I could just eat ramen for a couple nights and deal with it, but some people might want to take those loans if they don't have faith in their own cooking skills or something like that. So yeah, that's the situation on the pay. End of the following month. The first month's the hardest because you have to buy stuff. You can't move into an apartment and not buy stuff. So, but I know everyone has been through this situation before. It's not new. I'm not the first person. So, it's not like, why is this happening to me? I can't handle it. No. Deal with it. And we just recently had math day. So I had no classes on that day. It was kind of like a day off because I didn't have to teach, but I was still required to be at school. But it was really nice because I actually got to see what a normal Japanese class is like. So for math day, we have people from the school board coming in, from the district, people from other places as well. Everyone's all dressed up all nice, name tags. And they actually take the doors off of the classroom so that you can walk in and out freely without making any noise, because everyone comes to the school to watch our teachers teach math class. There were no parents there, so it wasn't like we were trying to sell anything, like, oh, bring your kids to our school because this is this. But I think it might have something to do with funding. I'm not sure, to be honest, and I don't speak enough Japanese to ask the right questions, but from what I understand, it's sort of like an evaluation / taking notes, to better their own districts or whatnot. So anyways, it was math day. And I got to see what the kids would be like in a setting where I'm not the teacher. And it is completely different. When I'm teaching the class, the kids are all crazy, except for my 6th graders. I can't get them to volunteer to save my own life. But yeah, all the rest of the kids, they're crazy. They want to talk, they want to do things. You know, they're a bit rambunctious. But when I'm not in the classroom, when it's not English time, when they're actually studying, it's dead silent. Kids, raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand before you speak every time, obviously. But it's just, it was interesting to see the difference compared to, you know, when I'm teaching and when the normal teacher is teaching. And obviously, English classes, as my dad put it, a little more of like an elective for them rather than a normal subject. And because I kind of make it more fun, obviously the kids are a little more excited than it would be for science or for, you know, history or something like that. So it was just a good learning experience. And after math day, of course, nomikai, drinking party, right? Because anytime we get something done, we have a drinking party to celebrate. And it was awesome, just like the first. The setting was a little different. We had a long table with chairs, Western style. No tatami mat this time. But the food was even more awesome than the first time. Start off, tea. Good tea, by the way. And you might not know this, but Asahi, the probably more well-known worldwide for their beer, they make a pretty good iced tea too, FYI. And we actually happen to be right next to the brewery. It's right down the street from my apartment. First course, I think they called it a wet pasta salad. Wet pasta salad is how it was translated to me. It's just pasta, a little pasta, a couple veggies, fine. Next, got a salad with dressing, fine. Third course, sashimi, raw fish, all raw. Salmon, raw shrimp, some other raw stuff, I don't know what it was, but it was hardcore for me personally. Just still working on getting used to it. But I will say one thing, if you want to be well liked in a country where you are a foreigner, eat their food, eat all of it, and don't say a thing about it, okay? Like, it's normal practice. Just eat everything. I actually learned that from my uncle, Greg. He says, if you really want to satisfy people in a different country, just eat their food, man. Whatever they put in front of you, you eat it. And it's true, because they were very impressed, and as was I, with my ability to wolf down raw fish. Oh gosh. Yeah, I've never been so happy to see tempura in my life, because that was the fourth course, tempura. I haven't been eating it recently because it's so oily, but it was a sight for sore eyes on that table, man. And then after that we had sushi, because we hadn't had enough raw fish, so get more. And after that brought out the soup, and then dessert. Like almond pudding, and the top was almost caramelized. It was amazing. After all of the raw fish, I ate that in like 2 seconds. It was so good. Again, if you have the opportunity to attend one, you better. Otherwise, you're really missing out on one of the big, I guess you could say, cultural aspects of being Japanese. And there were a few speeches and things like that. I tried my best to get the gist of it. It's a little tough. They speak fast when they're speaking to each other, especially when they're drunk. But all in all, it was a very good experience. Deal with it.